The movie begins with Lauren, a young actress who entered Hollywood at an early age. She became famous for acting in a popular family show called Meet the Johnsons. Her life was very different from other children her age. She lived in luxury and seemed happy. In fact, she grew up while working on this show. One day the press gathers outside her house because a hacker has broken into her phone and leaked a private photo, a picture of her pregnancy test. The scandal shocks Lauren deeply. Feeling hurt and embarrassed, she starts thinking about running away for a while. One of her secretaries finds a quiet house in the woods where she can stay and relax for a few days. To trick the media, the secretary drives out through the main gate, so that reporters think Lauren has left. But in reality, Lauren sneaks out through the back door and drives off to her secret getaway. On the way, her agent calls and reassures her that everything will be fine. The agent promises to catch the hacker soon. After a long drive, Lauren finally reaches the house. It's cozy, bright and spacious, surrounded by nature. She feels calm, but she doesn't know that the house is filled with hidden cameras. A man is secretly watching her through those cameras. When he sees her face, he immediately recognizes her as a famous actress. Lauren settles on the couch and connects her phone to the local Wi-Fi, even though her assistant had warned her not to. Connecting to public or unknown Wi-Fi can make it easier for hackers to access private data, but Lauren doesn't think about that. She turns on the TV and sees news reports about herself and the leaked photo. She also notices that the ratings for her show are dropping. The man who played her father on Meet the Johnsons is actually the real father of her child. That same man named Peter calls her. He gently asks where she is, but Lauren refuses to tell him. Speaking in a calm and caring tone, Peter says, "Lauren tries to understand. We have to handle this carefully. Our lives, our reputation and our show, everything is at stake. If people find out about the pregnancy, everything will be destroyed." He adds, "If it's too late to take the pill, I'll bring a doctor to your place." Peter says softly, "You'll be free from all this and I'll pay for everything. Just tell me where you are." Hearing his words, Lauren becomes furious and hangs up the call. We then learn more about Peter. He is a married man with children. He knows that news of Lauren's pregnancy would destroy not only his career but also his family life. That's why he is so worried. Sitting across from him is his assistant Croft, who tells him, "If you want, I can take care of everything. Just give me the money and watch it all disappear." Everyone knows Lauren is already upset. "I'll make it look like she overdosed on drugs out of stress. That way it'll seem like suicide and you'll be free from this problem." Meanwhile, Lauren, tired of constant phone calls, switches off her phone. The man secretly watching her through the hidden cameras eventually falls asleep while monitoring the CCTV footage. Just then, Lauren's uncle notices something on his mobile. The CCTV feed shows that a rich woman has moved into one of his empty properties. He immediately thinks of a plan to break in and steal something valuable. The main person behind the plan is Darren. He brings his roommate Marge along with him. Their simple idea is to steal quickly and escape. But as soon as they enter, Lauren's dog smells them and starts barking loudly. Lauren wakes up frightened, realizing someone is inside the house. Panicking, she hides inside a small cabin in one of the rooms. From inside, she can hear movements outside. Nervously, she shouts, "What do you want?" Marge, startled by her voice, hesitates for a moment. But Darren tells her, "We don't want any trouble. Just grab what we came for and get out quickly." Ignoring him, Marge says, "No, this girl is bad luck. She'll get us caught. We should stay and scare her." While they argue with the property owner, the same man who had installed the cameras arrives. He had been tracking the CCTV from his phone, and that's how Darren and Marge found out about the house in the first place. He warns them, "Don't do this. The girl inside is a famous actress. You'll get into serious trouble." From inside the cabin, Lauren's trembling voice is heard again. "Take whatever you want. I won't tell anyone, just leave me alone." Marge opens the cabin door again, trying to threaten her, but Darren and the other boy try to stop her. In the struggle, Marge's gun accidentally goes off and hits the boy. Everyone freezes in shock. They realize what they've done and that they could go to jail for it. Terrified, Darren starts crying, but when he sees that Marge still isn't stopping, he pleads, "Stop. Don't do this." Marge refuses to listen. Instead, she shoots the injured boy in the head, killing him instantly. Horrified and panicked, Darren turns his anger toward Lauren. He screams at her, "This is all your fault." Darren shouted, "We should have killed you first. At least my nephew would still be alive." In a rage, he broke the doorknob of the cabin. Darren collapsed and became unconscious, but Marge stayed alert. He ordered him, "Stay here, don't let anyone in, I'll fetch the gear to dispose of the body." As soon as Marge left, Lauren, trapped inside the cabin with the broken doorknob, tried desperately to open the door. She pushed and strained but it would not budge. Her attempts only injured her hands. Exhausted and terrified, she started screaming for help but no one came. She called for her dog but the dog had run away in fear. Crying until she was worn out, Lauren finally fell asleep. The next morning she woke to find the cabin had only a water heater and a single light bulb with faulty wiring. She managed with great effort to fix the wiring and switch the bulb on. She was starving and felt strange pains in her stomach and throat. She sat down holding her stomach and began to cry from hunger and thirst. Then she heard the sound of running water and looked up to see the pipes. She tapped the cabin walls and discovered they were hollow. She found the hollowest section and began trying to break through. While she worked, the bulb she had lit went out again. When she tried to fix it a second time, she was hit by a severe electric shock. The shock made her thirst worse, but there was nothing she could do. She breathed deeply to calm herself. She heard something moving behind the wall and realized it was probably a rat. By that time, Marge and Darren had also returned. Hearing them nearby, Lauren shouted, "Please help me. Take whatever you want. I have money. If you want to avoid the police, I can cover for you. I'll make a story saying I was trapped here and didn't see what happened. Darren, listen, I'll tell them your nephew was stalking me, that he tried to force himself on me and his gun went off by accident." Her desperate words drove Darren even crazier. Unable to control his emotions, Darren puts the gun to his mouth. Finally unable to shoot himself, he lowers the weapon and whispers, "I'm sorry." Lauren tries to reason with him again. "Look, I'm a very famous actress. Everyone will believe me," she says. Darren wants to trust her but Marge refuses. In her madness, Lauren starts banging her head and hands against the wall. Enraged, Marge fires her gun at the wall to stop her. But the bullets ricochet, hitting Marge in the head and Darren in the shoulder. Marge dies instantly, leaving Darren badly injured. Darren struggles to escape while Lauren cries out, "I'm pregnant. Please don't leave me. You can't do this to me." But the wounded Darren staggers to his feet and leaves. He barely makes it to the hospital before collapsing. Inside the cabin, Lauren lies weak and exhausted. A rat suddenly scurries over her, shocking her with a small electric jolt. She struggles to her feet, realizing she cannot survive without light. She fixes the wiring again and tries to relight the bulb, but it burns out. Desperate, she finds a nearby iron pipe. She uses it to kill the rat, but the effort combined with hunger and thirst weakens her further and she collapses. Exhausted and delirious, she begins to hallucinate. On the other hand, police question Darren at the hospital. The doctors tell them that he is unconsciously speaking about a pregnant woman, but because he is intoxicated and in shock, his words cannot be trusted. Back in the cabin, Lauren's thirst becomes unbearable. She starts licking the drops of water falling from the ceiling pipes, then the wet floor. The few drops give her enough strength to continue. She picks up the metal pipe she had used to kill the rat and begins breaking down the wall. As she breaks through, she becomes frustrated and a brick wall blocks her escape. But then she notices a rat's nest inside the wall. Luckily, she finds a hammer inside. Excited, she realizes she can use it to open the door. Just as hope returns to her, another tragedy strikes. The water pipe above the cabin bursts and flooding the small room. On the other side, a girl from the street rescues Lauren's dog. She takes a photo of the cute dog and posts it online. When her post gets thousands of likes, she learns from the comments that the dog belongs to Lauren. The police go to Darren's house to investigate who shot him. There they find a shirt soaked in blood. Meanwhile, Croft, the man who had been willing to kill Lauren for Peter, he sees the girl's post. He contacts her and asks where she found the dog, offering to pay a large sum for the location. Realizing something bigger is going on, the girl becomes frightened. On the other hand, Darren, who has regained consciousness in the hospital. The police question him about his nephew and his friend Marge, but Darren refuses to give any details, saying, "I don't know anything about them." When the officers ask who attacked him, he lies, "It was an accident. I was firing at a lock and the bullet ricocheted and hit my shoulder." The police tell him they searched his house and found a blood-soaked shirt. That shirt has been sent for forensic analysis and they say they will soon learn whose blood is on it. Back at the cabin, Lauren begins using a hammer to break the door hinges. At the same time, Croft arrives at the vet clinic where the girl left Lauren's dog. He gives the vet money and tells him to call the girl to the clinic. The vet becomes suspicious of Croft's intentions. He calls the girl and warns her to disappear with the dog right away, otherwise her life could be in danger. Meanwhile, Darren asks the doctor and police for permission to use the bathroom. Taking advantage of the moment, he sneaks away and escapes from the hospital. Outside, a car speeds toward the same house. Back at Lauren's cabin, water is rising rapidly. If she hadn't opened the door quickly, she could have drowned. The faulty wiring also makes electrocution a real danger. At the same time, the girl who had tried to escape with Lauren's dog is being pursued by Croft. Then Lauren's dog jumps out of her moving car and runs toward the house. The dog rushes inside searching for Lauren. Lauren struggles to open the door, her head almost underwater. Darren finally reaches the room and immediately picks up the dog. Before he can open the front door, Croft, who has followed the dog, comes into the room. Inside, he sees two bodies already lying on the floor with Darren also present. Then Croft shoots Darren in the head, killing him instantly. He then calls his boss and says, "I'm going to charge you double for this job." It's worse than expected. Instead of one murder, there are now 4. Croft starts searching for Lauren. He notices water leaking from the cabin and cautiously approaches to investigate. Just then Lauren from inside manages to break the door open. The force of the water causes the door to collapse onto Croft. The door lands on him while Lauren is above it. At that moment, the girl who rescued Lauren's dog arrives. She had been chasing the dog and was shocked by the scene. She grabs Lauren by the arm and jokingly says, "Maybe someone already killed your bodyguards." Croft gets up and points his gun at Lauren. The other girl tries to stop him, but Lauren uses the distraction to run away. The girl isn't strong enough to hold Croft for long. He punches her, knocking her unconscious. Lauren meanwhile has hidden nearby, waiting for the right moment to act. As soon as Croft appeared, she seized the opportunity and hit Croft hard on the head from behind with a metal pipe, knocking him unconscious. Then Croft's phone rang. Lauren saw it was a call from her friend. She answered but didn't speak. Listening carefully, she realized that Peter was the one who had wanted her dead. Croft regained consciousness and tried to grab her by the throat. Lauren struck him again with the metal pipe, hitting his head so hard that blood spurted over her face. She survived the attack. Soon the police arrived and immediately recognized Lauren. The media had gathered outside as well. Lauren asked for her phone and posted the same picture that had previously caused a scandal. This time she no longer wanted to protect the man who had tried to kill her. On the other hand, Lauren's friend, who is being interviewed by the media. He tries to defend himself, claiming that Lauren's story is a lie. But no one believes him. Moments later, the police arrive and arrest him for allegedly plotting to kill Lauren. The culprit finally meets justice and the movie ends. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe.